Yeah, so good morning, everyone. Welcome to Trading Campus. Let's start with our daily market commentary. What we can see over here is the Nifty chart of daily candles. One thing which is pretty clear after the up move which we had for 3 days, starting from 10,400 to 10,600. Now, Nifty is taking some kind of breather, or we can say some kind of sideways movement. If we go out and see, there was some resistance level which we had already plotted using our pivot levels. So one pivot level was 10,664, right? So exactly around that zone, I can say, not the point, where Nifty is trying to consolidate on the upper side, right? So that's one of the important points that we should know, that first resistance zone is where it is trying to reach, and if this breaches, then only an upward rally will start. Now let us understand, after the quick up move which happened for 3 days, how much downfall can we see. So first thing, after undergoing a sideways movement for 2 days, today also it started a bit lower and now it is trying to go a little down, but we need to understand how low it can go. So first let us put the gap into perspective. So the gap level, or I can say yesterday's low, is very important. That is 10,590, which will be important mark for Nifty. So from the current levels, that is 10,620 to 590, roughly around 30 points fall is possible, and then we can find a reversal happening from these levels, right? Apart from that, it can also fill the gap, which is up to 10,560 or so. So there are a good chance today for Nifty to slide down, retest yesterday's low, or maybe fill up the gap. But we need to now see whether a reversal is happening from these levels or not, right? So that's a keen lookout that we are keeping an eye on. It might test now. Let's these levels. Now let's go inside and try to see, let's say on 15 minutes, what exactly has happened. So what we see in the last 2-3 days, it is opening gap up and then it goes sideways. Again it opens gap up. Again it pulls itself down. Today again it opened a little higher, but then again selling took place. So for intraday movement, today's high, which is 10,640, is very important. And if this does not breach, obviously Nifty cannot go higher. And the second level is the all-time high, where if Nifty has to turn bullish. So on the smaller perspective or micro front, it's an easy target of Nifty pulling itself down to 10,600 odd levels. It is exactly the support level, or I can say second way, the gap level, which has been formed, right? So Nifty might remain a little tad bit lower, but there is nothing to worry about these movement, because after such a big up move, obviously you'll find some kind of consolidation, and more it consolidates around this zone of 100 points, there is more chances for an upward rally to take place, taking Nifty to our next resistance level of 10,800 or 850 kind of zone, right? Now let's go and see Bank Nifty. Again, the daily chart for Bank Nifty. As we have already pointed out, this was an important point for us for Bank Nifty as well when we had discussed last time. Important level on the stronger hold was 25,700 to 25,800 range for Bank Nifty. Suddenly it opens gap up, it tries to breach on the higher side but could not, and then selling comes by. Right now, what is happening over here? One thing which we need to understand: Bank Nifty is not providing support to this Nifty up move. So this up move which happened, if you go out and see, which was in Bank Nifty and reached to its resistance zone, and even Nifty went up. But after that, there has been a sideways movement in Bank Nifty. So Bank Nifty moving sideways does not provide enough support to Nifty to scale to newer heights, right? So we need to now understand Bank Nifty, can it be bullish or not? One thing which we need to know or understand, this time Bank Nifty cannot be bullish. And my basic reason or premise is we are not expecting any rate cuts. There is a chance of inflation having a higher tick, and then RBI might give us a stand saying that since inflation is high, we are not going to cut down rates so easily. So that will not be taken as a good sign. So I would be bearish more on Bank Nifty rather than Nifty. So next time when I'm looking at a bear spread ratio or those kind of bear strategy, I would look out for Bank Nifty rather than Nifty, right? So that should be kept in mind. Second, one thing is pretty clear, even Bank Nifty is coming to its gap level, right? So again, the interim support or the small front support is provided by Bank Nifty as well. So we can basically say the gap for Bank Nifty which was there, that is exactly around its yesterday's low, and today's low is almost the same. Okay, so we need to see inside what's exactly happening in Bank Nifty. If Bank Nifty remains weak, obviously today's session, the Nifty will also not perform. Now what I see on the 5 minutes chart, it comes back to the same level of low yesterday, and then a quick reversal has been seen in Bank Nifty. But overall, as far as the structure goes, Bank Nifty seems to be little weak, right? On the higher front, what we are trying to understand, if Bank Nifty breaches these levels, as we have pointed out, 25,700 to 25,800, Bank Nifty cannot be bullish, right? So Bank Nifty will always remain bearish unless and until 25,800 is taken out, right? Or till then it is going to remain sideways. Now, important move of Bank Nifty will be understood next week, because we have all the banks' result coming up. So let's focus on some of the banks where the bank results will be out. Let's take HDFC Bank. So HDFC Bank can be one of the mover of Bank Nifty, and now if I see HDFC Bank as well, there has been good support on the downside around 1800, but lately if you see, it is not trying to scale new highs. Second, it is trying to consolidate on these fronts, right? So around 1850 is the zone where HDFC Bank is basically going sideways. Now try to understand, the up move of Bank Nifty has not happened due to HDFC Bank. It was because of the other banks like Yes Bank, ICICI Bank or other banks, but not HDFC Bank, right? So we have results coming up for HDFC Bank. It can provide good amount of up move, but it might be limited to this 1880 or 1900 odd levels, because you can see large amount of resistance around this zone. So overall, HDFC Bank does not seem to be a good focused area to bet on. But second thing, what we can understand before the result, if it corrects a lot and comes down, reaches this level of support, we can look for reversals in HDFC Bank. Now let's go and look at the other heavyweight, ICICI Bank. Now ICICI Bank, as you can see, it has been providing support to Bank Nifty, but now of lately, after the quick up move, it has also given out some of its gain. So ICICI Bank also seems to be weak, but at least better than HDFC Bank, not falling too much and trying to go sideways. When I go out and see Yes Bank, which had basically moved up a lot, and now we see some kind of reversal happening, but it's pretty much clear that it is just a small tad bit profit booking. But HDFC Yes Bank can basically provide support to Bank Nifty, right? So it's corrected a lot. It has moved along apart from this consolidated zone. Now it might come back and retest 328 or so, and you can find reversal before the result dates. Okay, now we have IndusInd Bank, the results which are basically been pending. Now if you see, last time the result date was around this 1755 mark, was last time results session where it moved, and it has already moved in that zone. So if the result expected are not better than what they have estimated, then I think you might find a new high over here, and again a fallback can start in IndusInd Bank. So keep an eye on IndusInd Bank. It's basically gone up too much, so we should basically book out our profits rather than waiting for one small up move in IndusInd Bank towards this higher level of resistance of 1755. So IndusInd Bank, Yes Bank have moved. Let's see Kotak Bank. When I see Kotak Bank, move has not happened. The one good thing which is there, the only guy who can basically move up is Kotak Bank, and it is in that range, and it is a good setup is being formed. If you see over here, multiple supports have taken place around this 995 kind of zone. It is trying to move up. It basically tried to move down, but again, after pushing down yesterday, again a small uptick can be seen in Kotak Bank. So Kotak Bank can become another big mover as far as the result goes in the next week. and I basically will be bullish, way more bullish in Kotak if it tries to breach the smaller levels of resistance, that is 1020, 1040, and then you can see straight away target of 1100 on the cards, right? So these kind of risk reward seems to be very good for Kotak Bank, where your downfall is not there because the stock is already corrected, and now when Bank Nifty is going sideways, this guy is not going down. Okay, and if when Bank Nifty starts moving up again, this guy will be the first one to move fast, and we have the results coming up in the next week as well, right? So that is also there on the radar. So Kotak Bank seems to be a good bet rather than Yes Bank or IndusInd Bank. Let's look at Axis Bank. Now, Axis Bank has already been moving higher. Highs have been made, and it is in the consolidated zone at 52-week high kind of level. So we cannot go out and buy Axis Bank at these levels. All we need to see if Axis Bank comes down to a good Moribazu level of 547 or 550, then we would be interested to buy. But more or less, from all the bank scenario, Kotak Bank seems to be the amazing bet. And to somewhat, if ICICI Bank also cracks down, then we are interested in that. So HDFC and Kotak Bank can be the puller to Bank Nifty for next week. And today would be the IndusInd Bank, but it's already moved. Now let's take some of the stocks specific. So let's say how non-banking segment is performing. So when I go out and see Reliance, as we were a little bullish on Reliance, it went out swiftly up, but we can see some kind of fallback in Reliance. So Reliance was pushing Nifty up, so there is no question about it, but now it might find some kind of reasoning to come back. But we need to understand the good amount of up move can come in Reliance. Now, obviously it will come during the time of results, but if you see, multiple level of resistance was breached very easily. Now it is trying to remain around this 930 to 934 mark. Try to keep an eye on this as you approach towards result date. Buying a call option or picking up a reversal in Reliance can be one of the good move, because straight away it can move to 960 and then again make a lifetime high, right, prior to the result. So Reliance can give one big support to Nifty, which is very clear from the chart. Let's go and see some of the other heavyweights. ITC. Now, when I see ITC again, obviously it has gone down, moved sideways, again made double bottom over here, and then it started moving up. What is important in ITC that you need to understand, the move was swift and fast. Okay, so the last move from 260 levels to 270 was very fast. In last 3-4 days, it just moved up. Obviously, after that, it will find some amount of selling or some kind of pullback. But if you see structurally, the good amount of resistance level 266 is easily broken and successfully by this big green body candle. Let him come back, find some support over here around this 267 kind of range, and you can find ITC again zooming up. So what I see for Nifty to push up for 200, 300 points from here, Reliance can be a big mover. Then we have ITC, which can be a big mover. So I'm trying to look at stocks which are not from banking side, because now I feel banking side will not perform as better compared to the other non-banking stocks, right? So ITC and this seems to be good. And if you see the IT pack, like especially now result-based TCS, Infosys, they have already moved up. So Wipro, Tech Mahindra, all are going up and making new highs. So that one sector like IT, which was not performing, has started performing. So that is also providing some kind of support to Nifty. When I look out for pharma segments, so let's say if I'm looking for Dr. Reddy, so Dr. Rupin and Sun Pharma. So Dr. Reddy seems to be in consolidated phase, but one thing is pretty clear for us on Dr. Reddy, 2500 is the important zone. Apart from that, if Dr. Reddy comes down back again, obviously you can find good amount of reversal on the lower side, but on the higher side for result based, Dr. Reddy can be one good stock if we can catch at the lower levels. So Dr. Reddy seems to be decent bet. Now when I see Sun Pharma, which has already moved too much, up move has been seen in Sun Pharma. So from the lower levels, if we go out and see, obviously it was from the levels of this 540, it has basically moved up, remained high, and now it is trying to find some amount of pullback. Obviously it will come down, but not below 568 or so, and then you can find reversal, and then again another rally can start it. Okay, so that is also we need to understand for Sun Pharma. Let's take Lupin. Lupin seems to be good. It is continuously in an upswing. After this breakout plus gap up, it is a good chance for just going high and high because the fall was very steep. So it has very large amount of room to go up and to be to not to get sucked into this particular stock because it is already moved too much from the bottom. 50% of the retracement has taken place, and it's better that you try to be away from Lupin. But from Nifty point of view, Lupin, Dr. Reddy, Sun Pharma, all three can provide good amount of support on the upside. Let's see Aero Pharma, which also seems to be very strong. And what is happening in Aero Pharma, the one good part was it has undergone good correction. Now, the predominantly the higher resistance is around the 700 mark. But once it starts moving away from this zone, where it is now being stuck, straight away 700 will be there on the cards. Right, so keep an eye on Arvind Pharma, because once it reaches here and it tries to breach 700, then it also has huge amount of upswing which is left, or the ground which is left to cover. So I see IT and Pharma providing good support to Nifty. There is no point where Bank Nifty would provide support. So we are seeing other sectors and even the commodity segments providing good amount of support to Nifty. Let's go and see the gainers and losers for today. When I see here it is Nifty bearishness or losers. The losers are Cipla, Coal India, HPCL, Wipro, Bajaj Finance. So Wipro was making new highs and now it is in the losing segment. Coal India was continuously going up from last 3-4 days. Now it goes down today. Even Cipla from the pharma side, it is a little on the downside. What I see now under the gap down bearish. So again the same stock, Cipla, Bajaj Finance are out here. Yes Bank seems to be in gap down and bearish. So this basically shows Yes Bank, which was basically moving one way up, has now basically taken a pause and now it might go a little down. Important is to understand Maruti. Right, everyone is bullish on Maruti. What we need to understand, after the gap up, Maruti is under a sell and 9396 is where Maruti is there. Also try to see, let us see some auto stocks. So let's say Maruti. When I see Maruti, it is pretty much clear that from the highs, we are trying to see a good correction which is coming in or creeping in. What we need to understand from this correction, where can be the bigger support for Maruti. Obviously, before the result, Maruti will zoom up. Let's take the weekly chart to understand the move of Maruti. So if I see Maruti from our 30, 60, 90 degree kind of setup, it was in that 30 degree zone, went up to that 45, 50 zone, and then all of a sudden it switched to around 50 to 60, and the last move was around this 70 degree mark. Right, so this last particular move which happened was in that 70 degree angle. So there is not large correction which is left in Nifty in Maruti, because 90 degree has not taken place yet. So what I see from weekly chart, obviously correction will come, and it was in that 60 to 70 degree zone. The correction cannot be below 8,500 or 8,600. To be more precise, 9,000 will be a very big breaching level for Maruti. Right, so even if Maruti goes down on weekly chart, obviously this week or maybe next week it might remain a little weak, but before the result it can again shoot back to 10,000 in no time. So keep an eye on Maruti. Obviously we need to have some safety, so let him come back down around our zones of 8,900 to 9,000 range. We'll find a reversal happening. We'll buy over there, looking for higher levels of 10,000 or so. Right, so we try to look into that category of Maruti. When I see Tata Motor, that is providing support to Nifty, and other auto stocks are also seemingly up but not providing complete support to Nifty. Tata Motor, as we see from the bottom, trying to gain some grounds. So Tata Motor is a little bit bullish. Obviously there is larger resistance on the higher side and it has also moved up swiftly. So 450 can be a stopping range for Tata Motors. When I see Hero Moto and Bajaj Auto, there are two stocks which are very strong and rural presence. Hero Moto is strong, but now it is trying to consolidate at the lower levels. Agenda would be if it can find good amount of reversal. Now, if you see Hero Motor right from down, it has zoomed up like anything. Obviously, it will take some breather, but any kind of reversal in Hero Motor should be sought to be a buying opportunity because a range of 4,000 can easily be reached before the results, right? So Hero Moto and let's see Bajaj Auto, which was always trading at highs, 52-week high. What we see in Bajaj Auto, it zoomed up, made a new high, again came back, and now a selling can be seen in Bajaj Auto. So Bajaj Auto can find some amount of selling coming back to 3,100 or so, and then 3,100 or 3,150, and then you can find a quick reversal in Bajaj Auto as well. So keep an eye on both the auto stocks, Bajaj Auto and Hero Moto, and both can reverse and give us a good trade opportunity during the time of the results. So for Bajaj Auto, I feel this was the gap. Rounding first formed over here. First support was also taken. Moribazu is also there. So 3,100 becomes a very good support for Bajaj Auto. The second interim support is 3,130. Right. So this range where Bajaj Auto can come and then find a reversal, and that is where we are likely to get into Bajaj Auto. Right. So keep an eye on this as well. So on the bearish side, these are the stocks. Now let's go and see on the bullish segments of Nifty. So when I go and see bullishness, India Bull Housing performing very well. Tech Mahindra is there as the IT pack, as we are trying to see. Infi is also over there. So IT pack is there providing support, right? So that's what we are trying to focus on. Tata Motor is there today from the auto side. Maruti is yet to catch up. And then, as I said, Kotak Mahindra makes a small space in this particular gainers list, right? So Kotak, even if Bank Nifty is going sideways or down, Kotak seems to be resilient and providing good amount of support to Nifty. As I said, Kotak Bank can shoot up like anything before the result dates. So keep an eye on Kotak. The risk reward is huge and amazing, right? Gap up bullish where Infosys agreed apart from TCS, both are up and zooming higher. There is no stocks which are in gap down and bullish, but maybe later on in the day we can get some of them. Stocks which open gap up was Maruti, and then it has seen some amount of selling. So as we understood, Maruti can get one more round of selling. Bajaj Auto can find some selling, and then we can find some reversal in these. So keep an eye on this screener. So you can use this screener from our website. You can just go to tradingcampus.in. Okay, and there is a segment called a screener, and it gets updated live. All you need to focus on is these two segments: gap up bullish and gap down bullish, and on similarly on the bearish side, because these basically give you only focus stocks which you need to focus on, right? Or basically make an intraday trading strategy. Fine. Thank you very much for joining in. We'll connect tomorrow again. Basically sideways movement will be seen in Bank Nifty as well as Nifty. So no fireworks for today or tomorrow. Maybe result oriented stock, TCS, IndusInd Bank can basically give some kind of movements. Right. Thank you. Have a good day.